Now entering Nerdist.com.
Today we learn.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us. This is the first podcast of Today We Learned. My name is Razzle.
And I'm Dan.
And with us today is a very funny comedian, Ben Gleib, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Thank you for saying that. That's my name.
That's his name. You've seen him on Chelsea lately a bunch of times. He's on CNN, NPR. You can also listen to him on the Last Week on Earth podcast.
Yep, Last Week on Earth.
On Smodcast.
Smodcast Network. Yeah. Cool. So, brief explanation of the podcast here is we're both fans of knowledge and learning things. So, what better way to spread the things we learn on a daily basis through the internet, making the use of a podcast.
Well, there's so much stuff out there. So, how are you, the listener, to figure out what's worth learning? Easy. Leave it to us. We do it for you. We spend our days trawling through countless factoids, useless or otherwise, and we're bringing them to you.
Absolutely.
You consider yourself a fact troll, then, both of you.
Exactly, and the world is our bridge. We live under it.
But there's tokens?
We do. Tokens in the form of facts, which we then present on to you. Although, ideally, in this situation, the troll would collect something, but, we're pretty altruistic.
The goats, we like to think of the facts as goats, and we consume the facts.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're goat-consuming fact trolls.
Yeah, kind of like a benevolent, PBS-funded chupacabra.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't want any mistakes in this mythology as it's being written.
Speaking of PBS, we're taking funding for next season.
Yeah, you can get a tote bag and a 12 DVD set of something you just watched.
The John Tesh concert for Bangladesh.
That's exactly right. Bangladesh, if you are the high sponsor.
He really missed out on a marketing opportunity there.
Yes.
There we go.
So let's kick this off, Ben. Tell us, a fact about yourself that we might not know.
Oh, wow. Fact about me you might not know. I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, one of the proud, the few.
Proud the few, yes. Who is from here, stayed here. And I believe that the people from Los Angeles are the normal ones. People are always like, oh, you're from this city? Yeah, because I was randomly geographically born here. The people who have an insatiable need to move here to follow a dream of stardom, they're the ones who taint this town.
Of course.
Not us natives.
Yeah, well, that's just so many people.
You guys, for example.
Just walking up here today, I saw one of the guys on Highland Boulevard Hollywood Boulevard, who generally dresses like Spider-Man.
Sure.
Just taking his smoke break, just sitting outside the Fresh and Easy. It really kind of destroys the magic when you see him.
No joke. 2 days ago, I saw one of the guys dressed like Spider-Man being arrested.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How the tables have turned on poor Peter Parker.
It's very true.
Well, do you know what he was being arrested for?
I did not ask, but he was
probably
turned around.
Being a vigilante, because that's illegal.
Maybe so, or copyright infringement.
Yeah.
On the costume. He offered to web his own wrists instead of cuffs, and they said no.
I'm a huge fan of superheroes. I like Spider-Man and all that. Iron Man movie's coming out. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Iron Man 3.
Very Tony
exciting.
Stark. Tony Stark's a huge fan of knowledge.
Well, he is. He's a very smart guy.
Very smart guy.
Bagging Gwyneth Paltrow, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Getting a little pepper in the pots.
Yeah.
She's a vegan? Hey, speaking of veganism, here's a fact for you.
Yeah.
Apparently, some people do not consider figs to be vegan because when figs are being pollinated, they're pollinated by wasps, and when they are pollinated by a female fig wasp, the fig's inward-facing flower traps the wasp, and her corpse is then digested by enzymes in the fig called phycin.
So they're concerned, these vegans, that
Yeah.
they're by proxy eating a former living thing.
Exactly.
Wasp.
Figs are just delicious wasp coffins.
Right.
Because wasps have feelings too. Not to be confused with the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Exactly.
That would have to be a big.
That would
thing.
be quite a few figs for one of them to get trapped in there with their Sperry's.
That is very true. Plus, they probably just have a friend fish them out from their yacht. You know what I mean? Just fish them out. Fly fish them out. Pun intended, really. But here's what I don't understand, is why do vegans not care about eating fruits and vegetables? Those are also living things.
Exactly. You know, what I think is they're not sentient so far as we know.
So far as we know.
Yeah.
Though. I disagree. I've had a couple experiences on mushrooms where I believe inanimate objects, not even fruits and vegetables, I believe wood has feelings.
Yeah.
I believe it has thoughts and feelings. I do.
It's such a weird thing because, I mean, what? Because wasps have hearts. I'd like to know what their definition of a living thing is. Because clearly, a plant can die if you don't water it.
Right.
Much like a cow will die if you don't feed it.
Right. Exactly.
So
true.
I guess I'm curious as to where the feelings or where the.
It seems a little hypocritical because, like you said, they eat plants and vegetables, no problem. But also, the FDA has certain standards and regulations. Most things you're eating probably have some insects in them. I think I read that tomato ketchup it's particularly bad. It qualifies for the highest USDA grade standard. It's required to contain no more than 30 fruit fly eggs for 100 grams, which is about 3.5 ounces. So, every 3.5 ounces, even the highest graded ketchup is going to have 30 fruit fly eggs in there.
At least.
So that's why it takes so long to get it out of the bottle.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just like
you can shake the ketchup bottle.
It's just lousy with fruit fly babies.
Yeah, because those eggs just take a while to roll.
Although that's where the flavor is hatched.
I believe that to be true. But that's what the 57 varieties
Exactly.
are.
That's just 57 varieties of fruit flies and salmonella.
Yeah, it's just Tommy the Fly, and we got Freddy, and we got Wings. It's a really sad story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever eat ketchup again. But all food is like that. Don't they say that's not even as bad as it gets? There's most peanut butter factories or most food factories, they're allowed to have a certain number of rats that fall in the vats, and it's fine.
I remember I was speaking to an exterminator one time when he was I was living in Koreatown then, had termite infestation, and he told me that never go shop at Smart and Final because everything is just covered in rat urine. But, that's okay because if it happens at a factory, why not at the grocery store?
Quick disclaimer, I shop at Smart and Final, and we're not talking bad about Smart and Final. Just to get this is just one apocryphal encounter with a local Los Angeles-based
exterminator.
We're just saying all the food there's covered in rat urine. We're not saying anything bad about the company.
No.
This podcast brought to you by Smart and Final.
Yeah. Make a smarter and more final decision.
Exactly.
Rat urine, but I don't think it's a bad thing because rats are known to be vermin and disgusting things. What they get rid of, their urine's probably clean and great because they're getting rid of it. They're filthy. Exactly,
because they're vectors of disease, but urine is supposed to be sterile-ish.
Right. Well, you can drink it if you're caught in a plane crash in the Andes.
Exactly. Finally, that thirst-quenching flavor of yourself.
Oh yeah.
Well, and urine.
Tastes familiar.
Mm-hmm. The urine's not going to seep through a plastic container either. I mean, I'm not licking the jar my peanut butter comes in.
No, you don't have to. You'd be more concerned maybe for the top of soda cans.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
You always see stuff on the tops of soda cans. It's better to drink bottles.
Yeah, I don't. It's supposed to. The cans are supposed to keep it fresher longer, so I get that. But
it tastes better. It tastes better.
It tastes so much better out of a can.
The aluminum and the rat urine that you just slightly taste in the back of your tongue. It's lovely.
Love it. Also, speaking of food, I guess while we're on the topic of consuming things, the Dum Dum lollipops. You're familiar with these suckers?
Of course. They're tiny.
They're
barber shops across the nation.
You get them at banks and all that when you go for your kids and all that. The mystery flavor of the Dum Dum lollipop, the one with the question mark on it, is actually a mixture of the two flavors that come together at the end of a batch. When a batch is ending and they're making a new batch, they just blend the two flavors together, rather than take the time to shut down the machines and clean the machinery. So they just blend the two flavors, and that way the question mark flavor is constantly changing.
So it's always different flavors.
Always a different flavor.
That's why a lot of the time that flavor tastes horrible.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, root beer and pineapple don't exactly blend. Is pineapple one of their flavors? I don't really.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I know root beer is, and I know
pineapple.
I just remember root beer and butterscotch because that's usually the only thing that's left over when you're at the bank.
Cherry and watermelon are flavors.
That sounds good together.
I just always remember on the wrappers there was like a UPC thing or whatever saying hey, mail this in to get a free shirt, and it just baffles me. I'm curious if anybody's actually gotten
a Dum Dum shirt.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that. In the wrapper?
Yeah, on the wrapper, there's a little thing or a logo with a guy.
You're mailing sticky stuff where you don't think it's rice.
You're just mailing dirty sticks to them.
Yeah, here's my sticks.
Although I imagine that Urban Outfitters was the only people who actually sent them in. Now they can charge $30 per shirt.
Oh, do they have Dum Dum shirts?
I would not doubt it. They've got everything else, so may as well cash in on Dum Dums too.
Might as well.
Totally. Totally.
What other facts do we got for us to discuss?
See, I think we have another food-related one here.
Fiji water. Okay,
yes,
here we go.
Fiji water. Delicious. Beloved the world over by people who want to spend $4 to $5 for the same water you get from your tap.
Yeah, but it tastes better.
It does. It tastes better, and you feel better because you're a better person for having drank it.
Right. And you know also, obviously, because it's coming from Fiji, you know that it's pure. Obviously, they're first taking care of the local community, and then they're shipping the water to us, right?
Or so you would think.
Oh, really?
Actually, in Fiji, 53% of the people have no access to safe drinking water, despite Fiji water's bottling activity taking place there.
They're stealing the water from the local villagers.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what happened when you find the one artesian aquifer in Fiji. That's because it was there to feed the people in Fiji, keep them quenched.
What is the trick? They don't teach the Fijians how to operate a bottle, and they can't even get in there.
They probably just keep that out of reach. I'm sure they just. I know the owner, the guy who founded Fiji Water, was a Canadian gentleman who owns an island in Fiji where the bottling takes place. So maybe that's just where a lot of their clean water happened to be, and the mainland has been polluted. I'm not quite sure.
And they just fly over the mainland laughing with a helicopter full of water.
They just drop empty Dasani bottles out to really just reinforce that Fiji water is for other people.
Right. And you ever notice that the only water bottle, when you open it, that makes a kind of a soda sound is Dasani, because it's owned by Coca-Cola, and you wonder if they're putting a little bit of
interesting
addictive carbonation
stuff
in there.
Because it's just tap water with a little bit of the coca plant at the bottom.
That's right.
I didn't realize that. I'll check
it's the
that.
only one you.
Wow. I tend to buy Fiji because I'm a fan of square bottles.
Oh, I love Fiji. I
Yeah.
mean, it's excellent because it's what they have in Hollywood green rooms. And
Yeah.
you get hypnotized to believe it's better.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was just doing the Iron Man 3 junket, and I was speaking with Don Cheadle, and there was a bottle of Evian in his room, and he was visibly upset by it. He said, "Can we get something else in here?" He just wanted tap water. He turns to me and goes, "Do you know what Evian is backwards?"
Everybody knows.
Naive.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
I didn't know that. That was something that I learned that day.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah.
It spells naive.
That's a science fact.
Yeah, and do you know what Fiji
Literary
is
fact.
backwards?
IGIF.
IGIF. Yeah, peanut butter.
The plot thickens. This is some real Illuminati type shit.
Yeah, think about it.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
You know what Dasani is backwards? Inast.
Is that from like a...
Is that spelled correctly? I'm going to have to...
Dasani. Inasad. Bashar al-Assad in Syria, who's persecuting his own people. Assad. I bet you buying Dasani water supports the Assad regime, which is a dictatorial, horrible regime and just used chemical weapons on his own people. Chemicals.
Coca-Cola.
That's the sound of the Assad regime.
I always had a predilection towards Pepsi, but I'm glad to hear that it is well justified because, I try not to support human rights abuse through my soda purchases.
We're going to start a spin-off podcast called Witch Hunting.
We really should.
Conspiracy theorists galore. That'd be funny, witch hunting.
Speaking of world leaders, world politicians, this is going back a little bit, but Abraham Lincoln, when he was not slaying vampires, he was actually quite the wrestler. Apparently, in over 300 matches, he only lost one time.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He's just like a tall, lanky, spry guy. I'm guessing he could just, wriggle his way out of, these tight situations when he's getting pinned.
Or just lull them into a stupor with his great oratory.
Oh, of course.
And then jump on him.
Yeah, he actually, supposedly, he took it, WWF style, too, and, was cocky with it. Supposedly, at one match, he said, when he was on stage after he defeated an opponent, he said, "I'm the big buck of this lick. If any of you want to try it, come on and whet your horns." Like he's Jesse the Body.
Them's fighting words.
Man.
That is
Do
fighting
you
words.
smell what the Rock is cooking?
In
In politics, yeah.
Very interesting. That is crazy.
So he's a lot more than a stovepipe hat and emancipation. He was also a turnbuckle leaping.
I'd like to see a movie about Abe Lincoln wrestling with feather boas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
ripping his t-shirts.
He would have been Ultimate Warrior was totally butting Lincoln's steez.
Abe Lincoln, man, speedo hunter.
Using his hat as a weapon.
Maybe John Wilkes Booth was somebody he defeated and he was humiliated and his life went on a whole sliding doors shift downward because of that wrestling match, and that's why he had to end it for Abe.
Yeah, once John Wilkes Booth lost that Intercontinental title, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's
and
funny.
he killed him in a booth. He's very self-absorbed.
As opposed to a ring. I guess.
Exactly right.
Speaking of wrestling, another wrestling fact, Andre the Giant once drank 119 beers in 6 hours. Now, just to break that down for those of you, here's a little math. That's a beer every 3 minutes.
I'm not even that impressed by it, to be honest, because I was on spring break once with this guy named Mike who was like bananas, and we were in Mexico, and no joke, we were in South Padre Island, Texas, and in our hotel room before we went out, this guy, and it was not a giant, he was not a large, 8-foot-tall, gigantic man, he was a normal-sized man like you or I, had 38 beers in like an hour, just continually shotgun beers.
At a certain point, that is you think you'd switch to a different kind of alcohol because that the economy of it sort of exceeds what you're getting as a result. Was he wasted off his ass?
He was crazy.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
He threw up on the balcony. It was a horrible place to spend the night.
Yeah, the balcony, not off the balcony, on the balcony.
It was just horrible.
Come on, man.
It was not fun.
Just a little bit further.
Yeah.
We're talking 12-ounce cans or tall boys?
12 ounce.
12-ounce cans.
Yeah,
man,
not tall.
That's so, I could probably drink that many Capri Suns. I could drink juice or water, but gosh, I
feel like Capri Suns are just eminently shotgunnable because you just stab the straw in there, then you can karate chop them, and the juice will just blast into your mouth.
That's a lot of beer.
True, it sounds filthy, but I think that Capri Suns, if you could drink 100 of those in 3 minutes, when you wouldn't even be... You'd think you'd still be thirsty. I mean, there's hardly any juice in there.
Hardly any juice in there, minus the stuff that spills out onto your pants when you poke the straw.
It's kind of like the weird juice box phenomenon. I hate when you have the juice box, the little apple juice, those little 6-ounce boxes, and you drink it, and it's great for the first 8 sips, and then you keep being able to get liquid for the next month out of it. And you're sure it's not juice anymore.
Yeah, something went terribly wrong on the pipeline. You need to send someone down there to make little repairs.
Some combo of your own spittle and rat urine.
Tiny soldering iron.
It's like the TARDIS where it's bigger on the inside.
Exactly.
You just push more air into it.
Right.
And it just, for some reason, it's like a super soaker. You just keep filling it with air and it'll just keep giving you more juice.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of beers to drink. That's a lot of because
he was a big guy, so I understand. But that's incredible.
I saw 118 bills. I thought I found the lady.
Andre the Giant. That's back when wrestling was. I mean, wrestling's still fun, but
back when it was pure.
When it was pure, when it was racist, and it was easier to know who the bad guy was.
It's a simpler time to tell a face from a heel.
I can't tell the difference between a good guy and a bad guy nowadays.
Yeah, which is Iron Sheik, by the way. He's hilarious on Twitter. He's just still racist every day on Twitter.
Oh my, that guy is out of control.
I met him recently.
Yeah,
really.
I got to roast all of the wrestlers and coach them on writing their own roast for this reality show they were trying to pitch around. Based all the wrestling stars living in a house together on a reality show. I met all these bananas. But here's a fun fact about me. Years before that, I had a very interesting encounter with Roddy Piper.
He used to do stand-up around here, right?
I think he still does occasionally. He'll hop up on stage and do some things. But on a web series I was hosting called Couch Crashers with Kevin Kline, Roddy Piper choked me out, for real.
Really?
Cut off the circulation of blood to my brain. I lost consciousness. And it was not a smart decision on my part. I consciously decided to let him do that.
Wow. That's kind of like the ultimate wrestling autograph. Like, you can have him sign something, but when he performs a signature move, that's something you have for life.
Yeah, that's so
bad. He felt so bad afterwards. He gave me one of his kilts, so I have a Roddy.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, it's in my bedroom.
We'll take a photo of that and post it online. We got to show everybody that. That's
absolutely awesome. But we were shooting the web series, and he was like, who can I do my legendary sleeper hold on? And I'm like, I'll do it. And then I'm off camera. Like,
famous last words.
Yeah, but then I was like, we're going to fake it, right? And he goes, listen, brother, I don't care about this macho shit. We can fake it, but just so you know, it's very safe. I just cut off the blood flow to your brain. You lose consciousness for about 30 seconds. You come right back, you're fine. I'm like, there's no worries. He's like, no, it's fine. He does it. And my throat was immediately hurting when I woke up. And then for the next 7 days, I had enormous pain in my throat. WebMD that shit. And it turned out you can easily die from that.
Oh, of course. Wow. Cutting off the flow of oxygen to your brain, period.
Yeah.
Just sounds like a terrible idea.
I have not been well since, to be honest.
Yeah. I
crave rat.
Roddy Piper.
Rat.
Roddy Piper is many things, but I would not say he's a precision operator.
No. I make bad choices. I mean, that's for sure.
Well, this podcast thanks you for those choices.
Yeah.
My pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. Speaking of bad life choice, can I share another fact?
By all means.
A man lost his life savings at a carnival recently.
I heard about this.
You
This
heard
is in
about
New
it?
Hampshire,
New
yes?
Hampshire man, yes. He blew $2,600, reportedly his life savings, on a carnival game, determined to win an Xbox Connect for his kids. He got carried away playing Tubs of Fun at the local fair, emptied his bank account, walked away with nothing but a giant stuffed banana with dreadlocks. Quote, they explained to me I was going to get all my money back. I was going to get an Xbox Connect. They lied to me. For once in my life, I happened to become that sucker. I don't know how they promised me I was going to win one.
Yeah.
How-
First of all,
20,000? Is that
2,600.
First of all,
Okay,
it
wasn't a huge life savings.
it's better with Connect, but I don't think it's $2,600 better.
Couldn't you buy one for much less?
Yeah.
$200 is what that costs in the
Man
store.
does not do well. Like one time I spent about $80 or $90 at Circus in Vegas trying to win a electric guitar, which I do have here, and I did win it. But it probably would have cost over $100 to win it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go $2,600 in the hole for something you could purchase for $180.
Yeah.
This seems...
There at some point that's kind of like on eBay. Like I'll buy things on eBay, and sometimes you get in that competitive mode where you just don't want the other person to get it, so you continually try and outbid them. And next thing you know, you're bidding $100 for a He-Man action figure that's out of the box.
What's the weirdest thing you bought on eBay?
Facts. The weirdest thing I would say, it's not so much weird as kind of a bad idea. I bought Huey Lewis in the News T-shirt recently. I'm a huge fan of Huey Lewis in the News. And I wanted I've been trying to find
Interestingly, you did need money for that.
Yeah. So I bought the shirt off of eBay, and it was a small, and I tend to wear smalls, but this was a really small shirt. So I tend to, when I do wear it, I need to wear like an over button-up shirt just so you don't
Hulk out of it.
Yeah, because
you can't wear it, and you're a very skinny man. You still feel fat in the shirt, or what?
It's a very small shirt, but I need
Huey
to wear
Lewis
it.
in the News,
I paid
discouraging body image.
I paid like $36 for it, and that's the most. I generally don't pay more than $20 for a T-shirt, but I'm a huge fan of Huey Lewis.
How much you spent on?
$36.
That's not that bad.
Is that including shipping and handling?
Yeah, that was total.
Okay.
That was flat.
But speaking of Huey Lewis and the news,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this won't broadcast the day we're recording it, but a fun fact of the day we're recording this. Look at what a friend of mine is texting me today. Today is the day Marty McFly arrives when he travels to the future, April 30th, 2013.
Yeah, side note.
Is that the actual
that is not
date?
the actual
It's
date.
not?
That's been going around for a long time, actually. A lot of people fall for it. Generally, the people who aren't fans of the movie
What?
or have seen
I'm
the
a
movie.
huge fan of the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was actually in October. The first movie was November 5th, 1955 is when he traveled back. And then I believe in Back to the Future 2 it was October 15th or something like that. I could be wrong. Don't blow up the message board. But I know it wasn't April. It was sometime in the October.
Why would somebody do this?
Because there's been a lot of
people repost
Photoshop things going around, that passes one person on Facebook, it explodes. This happened a couple months ago. I remember a lot of people were passing around a similar image, and it's just no one bothers to cross-reference it with the actual picture. But unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing Marty McFly popping up anytime soon.
Oh, man.
It was actually, maybe it was November 20th, because it was generally, in number one, he went back November 5th, 1955. And then it's 20 years into the future is 85, or that's 30 years. Then from 85 it was 2015. So it's 30 years. It did 30-year increments.
So on the plus side, in 2 years, we're going to have some hoverboards.
Or
So that's something to look forward to.
self-lacing shoes.
Yeah.
Where's that kid?
Yeah, that's why Google's making the driverless cars so we can get those self-lacing shoes in time for 2015.
Well, last year,
Someone photoshopped it.
Last year, Nike released their. They did a limited edition of the self-tying shoes. Sadly, they didn't tie. Yeah, the Nike mags.
They didn't tie?
They didn't tie, but they released.
Just comes with a 7-year-old child laborer who will tie them for you.
Yeah. They're not really self-tying shoes. They don't tie. They're just laceless shoes.
They had laces. They sold on auction to benefit the
Michael J. Fox Foundation.
And they sold for upwards of $10,000 a pair, which is a lot of money. But if I had money, I probably would buy a pair just because I'm a huge fan of Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's a great film. Has an actor ever changed their name legally to their character's name? It would be great if he became Marty McFly.
Yeah,
I wonder.
That'd be cool if someone did that once. Just fully sold out to it.
I gotta imagine somebody
Dennis
out there
Haskins
has.
is Mr. Belding on Twitter. That's close, but it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I think that what's his name's like Richard, or is
Dennis
that
Haskins.
Dennis Haskins? Sorry, Richard Belding is what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Right, sure.
Well, that makes sense because Mr. Belding's an icon, and he hasn't really been doing much TV principal work since. So
Yeah, he has done some things. Oh yeah, he guest starred on The West Wing and many
Did he?
things. Oh yeah, he's a dear friend. I will defend him to the man.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not
What are you
speaking
trying
ill.
to say about Dennis?
Let me tell you a couple things about Principal Belding. Total dick, gave me detention.
Speaking of Back to the Future in movies, here's a fun fact. Vin Diesel has played Dungeons and Dragons for 20 plus years and actually had a fake tattoo of his character's name during the filming of Triple X. And side note, this is how big of a nerd Vin Diesel actually is. His character's name is Melkor, which originated from J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle Earth trilogy. It was mentioned briefly in Lord of the Rings. So that's I'm not a huge fan of Vin Diesel, but the fact that he's a nerd kind of gives me a little bit, I like him a little bit more on top of the fact that Fast 6 looks awesome.
Yeah, that's also weird too that his first name is Vin, which of course for car aficionados, that's vehicle identification number.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
It's important. It's important to have a provenance behind your name to know the etymology and where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vin Diesel. And while we're talking about movies,
Vin Diesel.
What? Like that's his.
Just imagine him as the dungeon master trying to weave you a tale. You're entering a dungeon, an adventure created by Vin.
I'm just not even scared by him. Are you scared by him?
No, I think he's more just like a reassuring presence. If I walked in somewhere I saw Vin Diesel, I'd be like, "Oh, sweet, we're gonna drift. This is gonna be great."
Exactly.
Like you could paint him.
Drift with me.
Yeah.
Drift with me.
He looks like a Ninja Turtle to me. Like you could,
He does.
You could paint him green, and I'd be like, "Cool, you're a Ninja Turtle."
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
actually
scared.
what Michael Bay modeled
I'm
his
not
new Ninja
scared.
Turtles after.
Oh, really?
Vin
None of
Diesel's
that.
musculature.
Okay.
Oh, there's a new one coming out, huh?
There is.
This
Michael
is
Bay
nuts.
directed, gonna have Megan Fox as April O'Neil.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was in my friend Jack Gray's living room one night. It was pitch dark and everything in his house before. I was wandering through the living room, and all of a sudden, literally, I bumped nose to nose, freaked the hell out of me with a Ninja Turtle,
Okay.
a full size, fleshy Ninja Turtle. I was like, "What the hell?"
Like the creepy movie ones?
the one from the movie.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
And I subsequently learned that my friend Jack's father produced the Ninja Turtle movies. That was an actual
Oh
Ninja
my
Turtle
God.
costume stuff.
Wow.
Which one was it? Was it Raphael, cool but rude?
I don't remember which one it was, but that's a fact you want to know before you stumble into
Yeah,
one
that's-
live in a
Yeah.
in a living room in the darkness.
That is
It's really
not
hard to
something you want to
explain.
stumble upon.
No, it's hard to explain.
That's terrifying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact about the Ninja Turtles, the same canister of ooze
Yeah.
that dropped down into the sewer
Sure.
and turned them from humble turtles
Regular
into
turtles.
teenage mutant ninja
Of
turtles.
course.
That's the same ooze that blinded young Matt Murdock, who would go on to become Marvel's Daredevil.
Is that true?
No.
It
It's
is.
the same ooze.
The exact same canister blinded him, dropped
It
down
was
into the
written by
sewer.
same. It was under the same. So Marvel's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a Marvel property.
Yeah, I think
it was Eastman, I believe.
Kevin Eastman. I think he was doing some
It
work.
was an
maybe.
independent.
Yeah, I think it's just
So it
a
was
piece of.
crossover can.
It's just the can is the through line. Can designed by Kevin Eastman.
Interesting. Spin-off can.
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy. Like, usually when there's an origin story, it doesn't affect multiple people,
No.
especially having such widely diverse effects as turning turtles into sword-wielding mutants and turning Daredevil into a blind radar sensing. He's essentially just an echolocation device with a
Right.
baton.
He's like a bat. It was
Yeah.
a bat with a baton.
Exactly.
But here's the question: do the Ninja Turtles? Obviously, the can turn them into mutants, but are they supposed to also never age beyond their teenage years, or is that just the frame of life we're seeing them in?
I'd like to think that's the frame of life we're seeing them in. It might have had sort of a metastasizing effect on their
Might have.
physiology.
Might have.
That's a question for the turtle doctors
That's a
of
big
the
question.
world.
Interesting, because they're mentally like teenagers as well. Like they don't
Yeah.
get along and all
I
that.
mean, they say cowabunga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something adults say. Who
No.
says that when they go to work in the morning? Hey, Phil, great presentation yesterday. Cowabunga, dude. Nobody.
It
Turtles
was,
and Bart Simpson, that's it.
it's making a
We got
comeback
a
along with
union
Eat My
meeting
Shorts.
Eat my shorts, that's popular.
Yeah.
That's popular.
You know what the
in
kids are saying these days?
harassment circles.
Hey, those Bugle Boys are super boss.
True that.
Yeah.
They do say that.
Got a union meeting. We're having some pizza.
Yeah.
Party.
So here's a pizza to you was the tie-in there. So pizza's only a reference to the turtles.
Yeah, well, it's,
And not to one of the major staples of food the planet
yeah.
eats.
Well, I figure
Also, why is it that all cartoon pizza looks like the best goddamn slice of pizza you've ever seen?
Well, I mean, it's just drawn to perfection.
Yeah,
obviously.
just like, the kind of pizza where you just bite into it and it's elastic, you can pull it away from your face.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like those old Mountain Dew commercials where someone would just skateboard down a mountain. They'd snowboard down a mountain, then crack open a can of Dew, hold it way above their head, and it would fall in a perfect stream into their mouth.
Yeah, I never liked those commercials because it made me feel like I can't drink a Mountain Dew unless I'm doing some kind of extreme sport.
I have a very vivid memory of being in my high school cafeteria, or middle school, one of the two, probably both, and trying to replicate that and just winding up with a sticky face full of Mountain Dew. Not a good look.
Of course, yeah, and that wasn't the only time you ended up with a sticky face in high school. Am I
Full
wrong? Am I wrong?
Mountain Dew or otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, they're always threats, taunting you, do the do. What if I don't want to do your do? You understand? It's like
just do it. What are you, scared?
Yeah, it's like don't push me into this. Let me make a decision.
Yeah.
Okay, how much rat urine's on the top of your can? I went skydiving. I wanted to try it. Okay, and I jumped out of the plane. I pulled out a can of Mountain Dew, and it flew right out of my hand. The wind pressure hit my tandem strapped to my ass instructor in the head, and then fell through a bus and killed 3 children.
That's
Is that doing your do? Is that what they want?
That's part and parcel of doing the do. It's more about living the do lifestyle. Live your life like you just killed 3 children on a bus.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I don't want to kill children for my soda needs. I'll have a juice box, even if you do drink your own spittle for an hour afterwards.
Well, speaking of skydiving, here's something I read. I might flub the facts a little bit, but after, like, when you are skydiving...
That's one other podcast right there. Flub the facts.
The facts.
Mostly true.
So I've read...
one of these 19 facts will be true.
While you're skydiving, there's only like a 2-minute window where you get the free fall experience, and then it's just like you're normal.
Then just normal falling?
You're not falling. Like you don't feel the free fall and the gravity is the whole time.
Is that because your body adjusts?
I guess it adjusts to the terminal velocity or something.
At the beginning, you're not supposed to feel it. At the beginning, supposedly, you don't feel that falling sensation like on a roller coaster. It's supposed to be such a wind pressure that balances out the gravity. You don't feel like you're falling.
The whole time, then.
Until you pull your thing, supposedly, and then
so that might be it. Maybe I'm mixing my facts.
I think you're flipping the facts. I think you're supposed to. I've researched it because I was about to go skydiving and I was paranoid about it, and it said you don't feel like you're falling until you pull the thing, then gravity.
To me, that's like what I would want. I want to fall.
No, you kidding? You want to jump out of an airplane and actually feels like you're falling.
Absolutely, I want to do that James Bond stuff where I can make my body like a missile and like fly through.
A little bit of sky surfing.
Yeah, man.
Like
Like
Wesley Snipes movie.
Squirrel suit.
Skydiving. You could catch up to people. That was beautiful.
I want to do that.
Do you know what Snipes movie this was?
Oh God, no! But I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up.
It was called like In the Flying Zone. Fly time, fly with me.
Some sort of a pun on falling and flying and not paying your taxes, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
He's getting let out from...
Here's how I evade the IRS.
In the sky.
Golden parachutes.
Drop Zone.
Yeah.
Drop Zone. There's a title. That is such a 1994 title.
Totally.
Who else was in that? Was Steven Seagal in that? It sounds like a movie he'd be in.
It does sound that way. I don't think so. There was a gorgeous girl. I think he flew after and grabbed her in the sky and kissed her or something. I don't know who else was in it. It was Gary Busey.
Gary Busey
and Yancey Butler.
Okay, yeah. Gary Busey's definitely a drop zone character.
Yeah, his inside his own thought process is a drop zone.
Yeah, his brain is constantly in free fall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is a fact. That's factual.
Factual.
That's what I learned today.
I've learned that. I didn't realize that.
There's a little bit of a segue. A lot of people do skydiving to sort of conquer their fear of flying or heights, whatever. Here's another fear, but it might be a little bit harder to conquer because it's just so weird. Mm-hmm. It's a condition known as anatideophobia, and it's a fear that a duck is watching you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah. Did you read a particularly traumatic Far Side cartoon when you were younger?
No, it's just ducks, you know what I mean?
Don't trust their greasy bills or the water just falling off their back.
Right? They're watching you. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying. I'm watching you.
The fact that there's a name for it means that there's more than one person that has that, which concerns me. It concerns me because it really shouldn't even be a fear, more so as like a social disorder.
True.
Or just something that you're generally uncomfortable with, but don't need to put into words or terms.
And how does it work? Because, I mean, obviously I do suffer from it, but I don't have a severe case. I don't feel that way when I'm outside. Yeah. But how would you always feel that? What if you're indoors and you don't have windows in the room? Yeah. How would a duck be watching you?
Those motherfuckers can fly. I don't mean to scare you, because I know, we're 4 stories up, but...
If you're indoors
with
no windows?
Well, I think that's probably a good solution, because... that's probably when you feel safest, when you're in your fortress of solitude, your lead-lined chamber.
I don't know. It's 2013. Ducks could have hidden cameras. Ducks could have TVs.
Yeah, or all the with chemical runoff, they could be developing the kind of bills that could pick locks.
I'm more afraid of the cast and crew from Duck Dynasty watching me.
Because they've got guns and the wherewithal, and they're coming for your beard because.
But they think you're one of them. At least you're lucky. But
at least I'm incognito.
You are, yeah. So people don't know what that word means. You don't want to use that word around them. But the people who suffer from antennophobia are probably also agoraphobics. They probably do not want to be in any kind of.
Oh, I would imagine so. Least of all, a public park.
Yeah. Have you ever seen agoraphobic? I've experienced agoraphobics. I one time I was on the high school football team, which no one ever believes I played. Another fun fact.
Yeah, I played in high school.
You played high school football too?
Well, I was on the team. I wouldn't say I played high school football. I was on the team. It was a reason to get chicks. I played cornerback and receiver.
No shoot.
I was more so. I played the bench.
Yeah.
But I was the practice kid. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I tended, instead of working out in the weight room, I tended to look in the mirror and listen to Skid Row. But
did you have the enormous beard and mustache then? Could people drag you down on the ground?
Believe it or not, I did have a beard at the end of my high school tenure. Yeah.
Really?
Nothing to the extent it is now.
One time there was a guy on my high school football team who was a narc, turned out years later we found out, and he got me to chew tobacco with him in the bathroom before one of the games. It was the only game I ever got in during junk minutes. I actually sacked the quarterback, so I think the tobacco had something to do with it. I don't know if he was setting me up. I don't think you can get arrested for that.
So wait, so this is like you had a 21 Jump Street unit at your school?
Oh, wow.
We just had a narc that was put on our team to try to root out drug use.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and he was a good player, too. But
was it Johnny Depp?
It was not. He looked like Johnny. He was a good-looking dude, but the point I was trying to say was there was an agoraphobic on our team, and we went and played in Hawaii, and there was all open spaces there, first game of our season. And the guy could not come off the sidelines. I had to go to the sideline. I was his stretching partner before the game. I had to run to the sideline to stretch with him. It was very strange.
It is a strange disorder. I know someone who has a fear of crowds, which is sort of tied to that, sort of like the agoraphobia. But
it's a bit more reasonable.
Yeah, because if you're just surrounded by people in an open space, exactly. We've all seen those terrifying like Black Friday videos of people,
or like any European soccer match.
Oh my God, yeah. Literally any match.
Yeah. Just
people trampled.
2 or 3 deaths per time.
Yeah.
And then they sell their body parts on skewers on the way out.
Exactly.
Few minutes skewers.
Doner kebab. You buy now.
They have Nike logo on their forehead. You buy this $3.
Kav Kalash. Crab juice, Mountain Dew.
You better believe it. Do that.
Mountain Dew. Give me a crab juice.
Mountain don't.
I love The Simpsons.
Sorry, Mountain Dew. We know that you're a Pepsi product, and earlier we were shitting on Coke, but we're equal opportunity employers when it comes to making fun of beverages.
If you shit on everybody, you shit on nobody, and that's the rat in the factory's philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind.
Make fun of everybody.
Equal opportunity shitters.
Absolutely.
We will poop anywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a promise.
Yeah.
Cool.
Equal opportunity people. But
Purple people haters.
I wish I didn't
have said that. Purple people haters.
Yeah. You didn't time the polka dot bikini people.
Yeah.
You know how I'm talking about.
Wonders back in the 60s, right? 50s.
Beach back, all right.
Beach party bingo, something like that.
Something like that.
Here's another fun fact: the Backstreet Boys music all horrible.
Really?
I learned that.
I read that it was okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I read that on a credible blog.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yes.
On Backstreet fan site.
Yes, on j14.blogspot.tumblr/killmyself.html.
Who are the Backstreet Boys?
Who are they?
They were the 98 Degrees of NSYNCs.
Okay.
That's exactly right. They were exactly right. They were the you understand.
Yeah.
To put it in modern cinematic terms, NSYNC is White House Down with Channing Tatum and Roland Emmerich. Backstreet Boys was
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice.
Can I tell you this? I've heard people talk about Olympus Has Fallen, but I
want to see it.
I see a lot of movies, and I didn't know one thing about it until I seen out of nowhere billboards all over LA for it. Olympus Has Fallen, and I see a lot of movies, and I've not seen one trailer for Olympus Has Fallen.
It already came and went out of theaters. I saw it.
Absolutely.
I was one of the few who saw it. It's not bad, but it's not good by any
North
means.
Koreans attacked the White House. Right?
Yes, and that's the thing that's interesting is now North Koreans are becoming the go-to movie villain.
Sure.
Previously, we had the Germans, we had the Soviet
Russians,
Union,
right.
we had
the Nazis.
Exactly, and now the villain du jour is the North Koreans.
Well, it's a great choice because they're bananas and they're secretive and you can make anything up. And they actually have a banana. Like remember Kim Jong-il, Putin's father, before he passed away, told official bio was that he his first time playing golf, he had 18 holes in one. I mean, that's something he literally told people. Builds roller coasters all over a starving country and puts everybody in internment camps and labor camps. And then his son is 29 years old and loves Dennis Rodman, and he's the only American he'll talk to.
Well, this is the thing. It's not like they're ever going to see this movie anyway, so go ahead and just make him the villain. And that's testament to just how little culture, from how much little Western culture is permeated there. He likes Dennis Rodman. He thinks Dennis Rodman's still relevant.
Oh, yeah.
He's watching NBA games from the mid-'90s right now.
Simon
like they're just happening.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. True that. True that. It was. That was with Dane Cook.
Yeah, Dane Cook was in Simon Says, yeah.
And it's true that when you do a media blackout in your own country, it affects your own media you're going to get in your own country.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird how all of these strange, oppressive regimes are stuck in Hollywood entertainment from the 90s, because there's Rodman in North Korea, and who was the big star that recently defected from France to Russia because he was tired of France's high tax rate? Gerard Depardieu.
Oh.
And then Steven Seagal, speaking
Yeah.
of the devil earlier, just did a whole Get Fit campaign with Putin in Russia as well.
Really? He brought his slow, boring-ass karate to the
Yes.
Russian people for like...
Putin's
is their version of
Putin's
Zumba?
radical though. Like that dude will race cars and like hunt bears. That dude's
Yeah,
like,
and then he went in
ridiculous.
a bird-like contraption in the air to migrate with the birds.
Yeah. Putin's got balls of steel. It's
pretty ridiculous.
And
And also completely fixes the election to put himself
Oh,
back
of
in
course.
power.
Oh,
The guy's
easy.
very ballsy.
If you look at any picture of Putin walking away from something, it looks like it's about to explode.
yeah,
True that.
that guy's radical, man. He's got. I wish I could do the things he does. Like that guy doesn't give a fuck.
Like imprison Pussy Riot?
Yeah, right.
Right. Totally. And that's a great name for a band.
Oh, if you're going to have a punk band, take note. Pussy Riot is the gold standard.
So they're in prison now.
Anything, really.
They're in prison now. So does that mean we can use it? Like, is that like
One of them's out, and they're still.
Okay.
And there are actually a lot of members in their band, and they're still doing shows. I just saw a whole
Okay.
60 minutes expose on this.
They just keep having different versions of it. Well, we're
Yeah,
in prison. You go play as us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of them they wear masks and they perform. Most of them wearing masks, but this one member decided to take her mask off and do a 60 minutes interview. Bad move.
You never take off the mask, especially not for 60 minutes.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
Always wear a mask. I've learned one thing from Batman.
And
Yeah.
if I've learned one thing from Wesley Snipes, always bet on black.
Always bet on black
Mhm.
and not pay your taxes.
Words to live by.
Correct.
All
Plato
right.
was one.
Well, I
Plato was
think
good.
that about does it for our first
I think so. I
episode.
think that wraps us up.
Major thank you to Ben Gleib for being here with us.
It's my great pleasure. I just learned that about does it for our first episode.
Yeah, that's you thought this was keep going. You thought it was going to keep going, but here we are. We're ending.
Yeah, we like to
learn a lot.
we like to keep them short and sweet and informative and fun and
Kind of like a dum dum lollipop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it all just blends together into one mystery flavor full of knowledge, and
it's a callback in the comedy industry here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you can take that to the bank.
Take that to the bank. That's a little fact for you.
Another fact: I had a call back for a Nissan commercial last week and didn't book it.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
I'm driving a Nissan, but I would have enjoyed it more had you been shilling for them.
Thank you very much. I like to shill for whoever will pay me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything to promote? Anything coming up that you'd like to?
Then subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth. You can get it on lastweekonearth.com or iTunes, and just go to bengleib.com or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Vidi.
And that is
Ben Gleib.
that is at Ben Gleib. Good to know.
Gleib. And Vidi is an amazing app. You guys should get it.
Okay.
It's like Instagram for 30-second videos. You put filters on them,
Okay.
soundtracks you can add to them.
As opposed to Vine only being 6 second
which
videos.
is ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like it's too short. Everybody's
Okay.
wasting their time making 6-second movies. 30
Mhm.
seconds, you can be artful.
Yeah. So Twitter is at Ben Gleib.
That is correct. That's
I
correct.
before the E.
Not correct.
E before the I.
E before I, especially after GL. We all learned it in grade school.
Okay, I confused that rhyme.
Yeah.
I learned something today.
Now everybody's very confused.
Today
No
I
one's
learned-
going to be able to spell it.
Mhm.
Razzle Dangerously, spelled with 3 L's.
I think so, right?
Dang. Wow, I just
No,
guessed
2
that,
L's.
2 L's.
I don't even know how to spell my name. My real name's Eric, and I should just say that, but
You know what
I like
dangerously
Razzle
is
instead.
backwards is, right?
Well,
You're
Words to live by.
Mhm.
So, guys, if you have a fact of your own that you'd like to submit, send it to us on Twitter at OsteoFerocious or at My Name is Razzle2.
Yep.
or just send it to us. The number two. My name is Razzle. 2 as in the Roman numeral.
Yeah, not to be confused with my other Twitter account. My name is Razzle.
You don't mean as in the Roman numeral, because that would be 2 I's.
Exactly.
It's,
yes, you're right. The Arabic numeral. Excuse me.
My name is Razzle. Then the number 2. I figure MTV has multiples. Why can't I? I have a couple of them.
Absolutely, Death to America.
Or you can shoot us an email. Wherever you're listening to this, we'll have the email posted. We're working on getting that all set up and all of that.
But it'll be a Gmail, so feel free to G-chat us if you ever see that pop up online.
You guys are very cutting edge.
Right?
Yeah,
we just like to leverage all the social networks. Coming to Pinterest near you. We're going to be performing live on Craigslist.
You're gonna get a Friendster page popping.
Oh yeah, please! I got that shit on lock. Visit our homepage at GeoCities.
Angelfire.com/ LiveJournal.
Yeah, you'll know it.
Live profile.
You'll know it by the sparkles falling off of your mouse as you move it around the screen.
Look for the sparkles, like glitter, the herpes of craft products.
Great. So once again, this has been Today We Learned with Razzle and Dan. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
My pleasure.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.
Hey everybody, it's Razzle. Just wanted to say thanks again for listening to our very first episode. I know Dan and I have a lot of fun recording these, so hopefully y'all will stick around and listen to the next one. Since this was recorded quite a while ago, I just wanted to add a quick tag on the end of this promoting a couple more things for our good friend Ben Gleib. You can watch him live on Chelsea Lately, Tuesday, August 13th. On August 31st, Ben will be performing on the show Setlist at Nerdmelt. And then on September 4th through September 8th, you can catch Ben at the House of Comedy in the Mall of America, located in the great state of Minnesota. And once again, make sure to check out Ben's podcast titled Last Week on Earth, and make sure to give him a follow at Ben Gleib on Twitter, Instagram, and Vine. Thanks again. Stay awesome.